All right, Amani Channel, this is what I'm calling the Video Secret Society. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. I have an awesome presentation schedule because if you're like me and everyone else, maybe you're just looking a little bit rusty. Haven't got my hair cut in weeks. It's just been it's just one of those things. I have clippers though. I actually did this on purpose. So we have Eva Jane Bunkley. I'm gonna go ahead. I have to let people in the room, so don't mind me. We're gonna just a second as let folks in. And I actually have, let me bring up the screen so I can, let me do this real quick. All right, so this is all going to help you get camera ready without your stylist. That's what we're here to talk about. We're gonna get one in just a second. Eva's actually here. If you knew what we went through just to get her in this room, folks. She can explain it once we get started. But since I respect your time, I'm gonna get started with this, with the agenda for tonight, and so and then we'll get into the presentation. All right, so let me see if I can do this here. Hopefully you can see my screen, everybody. All right, so this is a welcome to the first ever Video Fearless Secret Society. If you're just now learning more about me, I'm going to share a whole bunch of information about who I am, who our guest is. But my goal by the end of the night is to provide you with advanced techniques to start video marketing, even if you're terrified of the camera. So that's what I do. I help folks get their confidence, speak with poise, and really find their true, authentic voice. That's something that I really struggle with. And so that's what I'm here to do. And I have a bonus reward if you hang with me till the end of the night. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, let me share a little bit about me, and then I'll share a little bit about our awesome guest. So I am Amani Channel. I'm a self-professed video geek. I've worked in the broadcasting and TV industry for 20 plus years, if you can believe that. I sometimes can't. I'm a baseball dad. I have a son who loves to play baseball. I'm a broadcaster. So I currently work at Fox 5 in Atlanta. I've worked at Public Broadcasting Atlanta. I've worked for HD News. I've appeared on CNN, Fox News Channel, HD News. I've been featured in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. So I have a full range of knowledge about the video production business and about broadcasting. I've worked as a news reporter, and I currently work as a producer at Fox 5 Atlanta. So if you have any questions about the news business, you can ask me that offline. All right, I've also worked for some brands, Chick-fil-A, Visa, IHG. I was nominated for an Emmy last year, so that's something that I'm really excited about. And what I most love doing is I love mentoring and I love coaching folks, all right? So these are some pictures of me in my media travel. So I will talk a little bit about that third picture, that center picture with me looking down where I'm like this, because that's when I really struggled on camera, all right? So this is the agenda tonight. We're going to talk about getting camera ready with or without your stylist with Eva Jane Bunkley, who is our distinguished guest tonight. We're going to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about some action steps to help you start video marketing. We're going to talk about some next steps, and then we're going to have an open mic Q&A. And also, before we let Eva Jane go, we'll also have a Q&A with her as well, all right? So I'm going to introduce Eva Jane right now. Eva Jane, I'm actually going to let you introduce yourself because she is the bomb. She's won
I love this.
She's won 2 Emmys. She worked for Fox 5, where I currently work. She used to work there. She's worked for NBC. She's worked with a gang of celebrities, folks. Just trust me, Jimmy Carter. She's worked with a wealth of folks, and she's really she's also a filmmaker, and she's also an inventor. So she'll talk about all those things. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Eva Jane Bunkley. Hey, Eva Jane.
Well, can you hear me fine right now?
Start by just telling folks a little bit about your background, since I didn't go into everything you've done.
Sure. I have been a professional makeup artist since 1993. So I'm going on, 27 years now, somewhere in that arena. Like you said, it's hard to believe. I'm like, dang, how old am I? But that has become my professional career. I went to Ohio State and from Columbus, Ohio originally. And when I finished there, I moved down to Atlanta. So I've done all of my adulting down here in the A, and I have loved it. I'm a baseball mom too, so woo woo for the baseball parents. Back in 2001 and 2002 is when I earned my Emmy Awards. I was at Fox 5, and I was also simultaneously at NBC's 11 Alive. So I was doing the morning anchors for both stations and the evening anchors for 11 Alive as well. I was running all around, all over the place.
What do they call it? Double dipping? You were double dipping?
I was doing a little bit of double dipping, and I was personal makeup artist to Judge Hatchett for about 10 years, Creflo and Taffy Dollar for 11 years, And I currently still freelance with Fox on the national level. So I went from the local Fox to the national NBC and Fox. And when NBC moved their bureau to Florida, still I would get calls. So yeah, the daily news grind I'm not doing anymore, which I don't know if I miss getting up at like 3-something in the morning.
I would say no. From personal experience, I would say no. I'll say no for you.
So yeah, that's been my experience. I still do mainly television. So transitioning to where we are now with COVID-19 and Corona, and everybody is now on camera with all of our teleconferencing. And if somebody didn't know what Zoom was before, they definitely know what it is now.
Definitely.
Because it's become just a norm. So being able to be present and be on camera, sometimes it's not that you can just put your icon up there. It's, oh, can you turn your camera on, please? Because people want to see that eye contact. They want to make sure you're engaged, that you're not off in the bathroom or whatever. So it's just like, it's getting real when it comes to like feeling a little judged, like, oh my God, what am I looking like? So I would say in between those meetings, that's kind of what I want to talk about as far as like giving yourself a break, which I think a lot of us can do. If you don't have a meeting that day, it's not like you're driving into anywhere. So I think there's some grace there. But then at the same time, with having to be on camera, I don't think you have to be anxious about the way you look. And I think we are giving one another a lot more grace because we know we're not seeing our barbers and our hairstylists and all of that. I was watching the news the other day and Anderson Cooper was showing his haircut. He'd like cut a chunk out, trying to cut his own hair. He's like, yeah, I got a bald spot right here. And it's just like, oh yeah, and you're on network news. So like I said, I think we're giving each other a little more grace in this time.
But still, I think there's also the added pressure for like business owners, because those folks that were maybe scared to go on camera, or those who might not have been to their stylist, they think, oh, before I get on camera, I have to have my face fixed. I have to get my face beat, whatever they say, whatever the kids say these days. Got to have my hair done a little bit. So what are some basic tips you can give to folks that just want to make sure they're looking appropriate before they turn on the camera?
Well, I mean, I will say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but for my husband, I think it's a little easier for the guys because at least y'all are used to facial hair and having to get things lined up a little something on a daily, whether it's just shaving everything off or just keeping yourself kempt in between your barber visits. So y'all actually might have it a little easier than the women right now. You know, for my husband, he's been letting his hair grow out a little more, just like you. And he was like, man, I need some product for this. I'm not used to having all this hair on top of my head. So he got himself some moisturizer that he can kind of like work it in. So I think just keeping yourself as clean cut as you can. I wouldn't say to, you know, venture into anything that you are going to end up with a bunch of chunks or whatever. For the ladies, when it comes to eyebrows, you know, if you can do your own brows, that's great. But you don't want to go overboard. Less is more. And tutorials. I mean, most of the tutorials on YouTube are about beauty. I say find somebody who you can kind of identify with, not somebody who has an extreme look. Some of the IG makeup gets into little trends and things like that. I would say stay away from that. When I did my face just in prep for this, I on purpose just wanted to do a few things. And I actually used mascara as eyeliner. Like you can use other products to do things that you can kind of bring out your eyes a little bit. And the one thing that I will say that I think is great when you are kind of on camera, especially with these meetings, is it's not like everybody is crisp and clear. You have a little more pixelation there. It's a little fuzzier. It's not gonna, if you do try something different or do a tutorial, it's not gonna come across that you did something so wrong that it's like, ew, what'd she do right? Like we can't see you that well. We really can't, especially when you're in these little tiny boxes. And give yourself grace, like move back a little bit in the frame. You know, you don't have to be like right here. But that said, I think with skincare, that's going to be something that maybe you couldn't have done as much before, that you have a lot more time to kind of pay attention to right now, and letting your skin rest and not having to be painted every day, all day, but maybe just a little something for that meeting that you have coming up. But I do think, to Amani's point, because you talked about that business owner, which, you know, I am, I do find that I'm doing a lot more marketing type videos right now. I'm starting to, you know, shoot a little bit more. So I do want to do my face, maybe even more, because I used to work from home a lot. So with these marketing videos and wanting to be ready, I think it's important to learn how to do that. And I think this is actually empowering us a lot more to maybe take some risks that we didn't before in kind of our own personal grooming and doing things for ourselves.
What do you mean? What do you mean by taking risks? You mean like trying things or trying some new different things
That
on
you
your
wouldn't have
own?
done.
Okay.
You know, your stylist might have been your crutch. You might have never like, oh, I'll just wait until I can. It's gotten to the point where like 4 weeks in, you can't wait any longer. Just go ahead, do a little something. Like I said, less is more. There's plenty tutorials. And I am willing, and I've said this in another interview, for the first maybe 3 people, women especially, who might want to consult or something like that, I'm willing to do, you know, private consultations. So you can hit me up. I'm very easy to find, Eva Jane Bunkley, and we can do a Zoom. I mean, I've been all about this. I mean, if you're really like, I don't know how to do this, I did a Zoom with one of my I call her one of my mothers back home, because I sent her this makeup brush and she was like, it's not working. It's this brush. It's a brush that I came out with. It's a silicone brush, and it's a do everything little brush. It's a mighty brush. And she's like, but you said I could draw my brows with it, but I'm not doing it right. And she showed me. I'm like, you're not holding it right. You're holding it. You're not holding it right. Get this angle. She's like, oh, okay. So sometimes it is just the technique. And it doesn't
Finesse.
have to be that you have to be a pro about it. It's about enhancing you to where you feel more confident when you are sitting in that meeting, or when you are promoting your product, that you can, you know, feel good about yourself.
Talk about, you know, it kind of goes into my next question. Why
Mm,
is it important to have your look right? I mean, before you go on
mm,
camera, you've obviously worked professionally, making
yeah,
sure news anchors and other
yeah.
celebrities look right before the camera. How does that play into our confidence in general?
Well, one thing that you have to consider is the target audience. Whenever you're doing your face or whatever, the confidence that you want to project is that it's coming across right to that target audience. And a lot of what I've done as far as like news anchors and those people, no, you don't need to go that far, because that's a look, and that's so that you were just captivated and won't take your eyes off. And if you're flipping channels, you're going to stop on that person. But when you're, say, the owner of your business, you're going to be you're going to have expertise, whatever that is. If it's a service, if it's a product, if it's you work for a company and you are the head of this particular division or whatever, your expertise is going to come through. So you just don't want to be maybe distracting. I mean, you don't want your hair sticking up like this to where they're like, you know, so I don't think that the stakes are so high that you have to be, you know, flawless and perfect and look like this news anchor, but just to the point where you're not, something isn't a distraction, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't think that's a high bar. I really don't. I mean, wash your face, comb your hair, and then if you need to fill your brows in a little bit, put some mascara on, try a lash. Lashes are amazing for things like this. Lashes will bring your eyes out like nothing else. And you can figure out, you know, lash tutorials, just a little strip. They're not as hard. That's why I say take risks. Do something that you wouldn't have done. Now, if you walk into work and you got strip lashes on, you know, you might have those people, oh, what you trying to do? Look at you. But in this arena right here on camera, it's almost to be expected, you know? So it's not like anybody's going to be, oh, okay, so what you trying to do, be the center of attention? No, I'm just putting my best face forward. You might not even know I have on lashes right now. I mean, I do. I have on really, really dramatic ones, but they come across as just, oh, her eyes are open. She's alert. It's
Mhm.
evening time. She looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And that's what you want to put across.
Awesome. Eva Jane Bunkley, celebrity stylist, is sharing some awesome tips with us. For the ladies, how to get your face right. For the fellas, she shares some grooming tips with us. Eva, what, like, if you could share maybe 3 tips, I know you shared some great suggestions overall, but 3 things that you do before you go on camera, what are they?
Okay. So let's see. Eyebrows to me are very important. They frame the face, you know. If you can't like get them perfect and perfectly shaped, I would say never overdo it, but go ahead and fill them in. Just a brow powder, a brow gel for the women. Eyebrows frame the face, clean them up, you know. Um, Powder or foundation, whichever. Some like both, some like one or the other, it depending on how your skin is. Some people who have dry skin would like to do a little like a BB cream or a CC cream or something like that and a foundation. I think that kind of smooths out the face a little bit. Now, this is something that I don't necessarily suggest you like try for the first time and get on a little bit of practice, but really if you can learn a little bit of contouring, because how they say that the camera adds 10 pounds, because this medium right here, it flattens us out. So if you could do a tutorial, I mean, if you really just want to kind of go there and just like do it up a little bit, and I mean, you might not even notice, like I've always joked about, I've got this round, this fat face, like this is just the face of my grandfather's side of the family. This is what I got. So I'm constantly like, oh, let me see if I can, you know, thin out and get some cheekbones in here, and the contouring does that. So I might not look contoured to you, but I am. If I wasn't, you would see it's just, I have this like circle face. But anyway, contouring, because it helps, you know, the camera see your face. Now, that's if you're going, you know, I say try it out. You would be surprised. You would be surprised at what contouring can do. And like I said, it helps the camera. So even if you like are used to doing eyeshadows, that's what you're doing when you're putting eyeshadow on. You're contouring your eyes so that your eyes kind of come out. But a little bit of mascara goes a long way too. Even if you don't want to do the lashes, some people's lashes, once you put a few strokes of mascara on them, they look like you have on lashes. But that draws people to your eyes so that they're kind of focused on you. And I think for a woman, we're at home, we're kind of, you know, every day is kind of bleeding into the next. Those little types of things make you feel better. And putting on real clothes. I mean, for the guys, you know, do what you can, you know, because it really is about how you're feeling on the inside really comes through on the outside. And I'm sure Amani will talk about all the angles and things like that as far as how you frame yourself and all of your video techniques for when you're shooting your videos and building content and promoting your brand and all those things that we're doing now, because we have so much free time. We don't have the commute, so we can work on passion projects too. Hopefully.
Now you mentioned Eva that you're actually doing more videos these days. So what kind of marketing videos are you doing, and what are you promoting in them?
You know, I have been doing a lot of staged, like I've been doing a lot of videos because people have been asking me to do these types of things. And I just finished a series with 9 makeup artists that about every other day I would call a different makeup artist and we would do an IG check-in, because I think right now it's important to just check in on one another and show one another care and concern. So that's one thing that I did. And there are days that I looked, you know, done up, and there are days that I didn't, just because it's like, I'm here for it. And I'm not ashamed to show what I look like right now. And if you can't understand why I didn't paint my face right now, you just can't. So I think that comes with a level of comfort. Because I have also been doing this 90-day experiment, and I think today is day 31, where I'm forcing myself to go on camera live on Facebook every single day. And it is more for me as a marketer and as a business owner and as a product inventor. And I didn't say the makeup bullet. That's what I didn't talk to you about. Okay, so
I was trying to soft talk. I was trying to allow you to mention.
So this step and repeat behind me is all about the makeup bullet. I am, as Amani said, an inventor. I patented a product called the makeup bullet. It is a cosmetic sponge that fits on a finger. So this is the one I just used to like touch myself up before I came on. So it works with your liquids, your creams, your powders, and all of that. So in that, I'm like, sometimes, I don't know, we kind of need a kick in the pants to be able to do more of what we know we need to be doing. And I'm like, I need to be marketing more. So this is going to force me, no matter what I look like, no matter what I feel like. And then eventually you have to start stepping up. Like, okay, I'm going to do my face for this one because dang, you know, yesterday I just went on, you know, playing. People like, okay, you could put a little effort forth. So, I'm a makeup artist, so sometimes I should wear it. But yeah, this is a makeup bullet. So Amani, thank you. I guess, you know, so this is my baby that I patented.
One of our members, D Bowden, says that she has one of the makeup bullets. So hey, there you go.
Oh, I need to be looking at the chat. Thank you. Oh, D, yes, D. I love D. D's amazing. D's wonderful. Oh, thank you for joining. Okay.
Awesome.
What was the question?
Oh, we were just talking about video marketing. How are you using video marketing to get your message out there? And so I want to talk about this. You mentioned what are you doing, a 30-day Facebook Live challenge where every day you're going live on Facebook?
90 days.
90 days. So how has that improved your on-camera delivery? What have you seen through that process so far?
You know, I think it is a level of comfort that's come with being on camera, a level of just kind of giving myself a little more liberty to just do it. I mean, and I'm not judging myself. I think before I was talking myself out of too much.
Mm-hmm. And
I think that's what we tend to do a lot. And I'm like, I need to be on camera telling people about. So I've been making masks lately. Like I've been back to my textiles and clothing roots. I was a fashion major. And I'm like, wow. So I've been having people hold me accountable. Like, look, I need to be doing this. So I started with my Facebook audience because the 3,500 plus friends that I have there, I said, that's an audience that like is a warm audience. I'm not going on my makeup bullet IG with this where I really don't know as many of those people, but I've been on Facebook because I'm like, you know, I need a way to motivate me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it's been about. Like, what do I need to do to get myself in gear to be more of the marketer that I know that I can be and more of the self-promoter, not because I want to look at me. That's not my motivation. If anything, it's the opposite. Like, I don't want you to look at me. I'd rather, you know, be off in my corner doing my thing and creating and all that. And it's like, no, there's a balance. So getting that balance is why I'm doing this 90 days. It wasn't for anybody else. It was before really coronavirus hit like it did. I started. Oh, okay. So yeah, it kind of coincided. I made the decision and it kind of coincided, and it's actually been perfect.
What have you noticed in terms of your interaction of folks reaching out to you, your just awareness of what you do and your products?
Man, I can tell you, I've been getting so many DMs, people that I had not, like I was connected to, but hadn't been connected with in a while. You know, you don't hear from people and they see what you're doing. And I think that's so much the power when it comes to marketing and social media. I'll see people out and they're like, oh man, I love what you're doing. I'm like, you've seen me? Like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess, because everybody's not going to respond right then to what you're doing. You're not going to get it equal back.
Most people don't even comment. They'll just lurk and watch you, and they'll just like,
oh, that's all it is. That's all it is. So I think you can't be hung up on that. Like, oh, it doesn't seem like it's working. I mean, I might get a little bit of a DM. My husband's cousin called me. When I say I saw her number, I'm like, I didn't even know I had your number in my phone. She called me. She saw that I've been doing my lives and making masks. I need to pop by and pick up 3. Oh, okay, sure. And then I had another lady DM me, and it's just like, you got to it's little by little. Cast your bread upon the water, and it'll come back to you after many days. I get my biblical in there. So yeah, because I love Jesus and all that too.
All right, so folks, if you have any questions for Eva, please put them in the comments. Yes. We're going to go to Q&A in just a second here. We're talking to Eva Jane Bunkley, who is a filmmaker, an award-winning makeup artist, and an inventor. She created a makeup bullet, and she's worked with the who's who in the entertainment world. So we have Rhonda says, this is great. I love textile and have been seeing as well. I've been making masks for my family and friends. So there's there you go. Yeah. Misty Harris says, being on camera daily helps people raise their daily standards and makes them do more for themselves so they don't become sofa jello.
I love it. Potatoes, yeah. Right? Yeah. You start stepping up your game. You're like, man, I need to do better. Totally.
Definitely. So, Have you seen, like, what was your confidence level before you started going live every day? You mentioned that
Mhm.
sometimes you talk yourself out of it, and that's something that I do as well. Like, I'm a video dude, and I've been on camera, worked for the news, and there have been times where I'm just, oh man, I don't feel like, well, I don't feel like putting myself out there.
Yes.
What sort of the inner
Yes.
voices that you have to battle to
And
overcome?
nobody would think I'm that way. That's the whole thing. You know, sometimes I think the perception people have of you, especially if you've gotten your headshots done and maybe you've done a couple videos, they just think that your confidence level is through the roof. And that is not the case. And I think as I've gotten older, and then you look at maybe the demographic that's most prevalent on social media and the people that you see, and I'm like, man, I'm slowly leaving that demographic. I'm not a millennial. I'm not like, I don't look 20 something. I don't even have the same interests. But I think that we all have something to offer. And I think that's what you need to focus on. And you need to switch your thinking to who can benefit from what I have to share.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing. And it might just be an encouraging word, because I guarantee you somebody feels exactly the same way you did, had or has the exact same problem you had that you figured out how to get out of. And just them hearing you share that vulnerability and that care and concern that you would even encourage somebody wants to hear that. So I think that you have to switch your thinking as far as, what do I have to offer and how can I get it to somebody? And that's what just going on camera and speaking and producing that content is about. And just stop talking yourself out of it, and hook up with people like Amani, who can just tell you to get out of your own way.
And that's what it takes sometimes. All right, we have a couple questions. Donnie Tuggle says, are you using a green screen or printed background for your videos?
Okay, what about you, Amani? This is like right now, this is just a step and repeat.
Yeah, I use my actual office. This is just my home office. It's kind of artsy fartsy, but I have the camera and the
Uh-huh.
light right there, so that's my branding, right? That
I
signifies I'm
love
a
it.
video dude. But I have
Yeah.
also artwork. I have Buddha and Thoth behind me. So what about?
Mhm.
So what is the step and repeat for folks who don't know, Eva?
Oh, it just has my logo up. It's just a drop, a background. I spoke at an event one time and they had it printed and then they gifted it to me afterwards. I was like, oh. So it's kind of in my office space area. The rest of it looks like a workshop. So I don't know that you necessarily want to see too much of it, but I got my TV up here. I sit at my sewing machine lately and just watch TV and create. So yeah.
Cool. Brandon Williams says, what kind of camera do you? This might be for me, but we'll see if you
Yep.
can answer, Eva. What kind of camera do you use when you're not on Facebook Live?
Ooh, I want to know.
So what I'll use a DSLR. I have a Canon 7D, and I have a Panasonic GH3. It's an older Panasonic. Shoots 1080, but it works for
I
me.
have a GH1, so you know how old mine is.
Hey, I'm
But
sure it still works. So those
it
Panasonic shooting ideas, images, I love it.
my Panasonic gets sad. So yeah, I have a Canon DSLR now.
Cool. We're not gonna take too much of Eva's time, but we have TL Woodard, who says, thanks so much for a positive attitude, for getting out of your own way. So appreciate those. You really bless us. I think the beginning part of the interview where we talked about the techniques was one thing, but then you were so inspiring, even how you just encourage folks just to get out there, which is something I try to do as well. So we appreciate all those words.
Thank you, Amani.
Yep. So
Thank
folks,
you.
we're gonna let Eva go unless you have any other questions for her. Real quick for the folks who just hopped on later, Eva, why don't you share some quick tips for the men and some quick tips for the women
Okay.
just to wrap things up?
Okay. So for the men, do your grooming. If you haven't grown a beard, like try it. I mean, they're like everybody's all about the beards now. If you can, and you got all the little products where you can fill them in and shake a little stuff on them to fill in the little holes. So try it out. Nobody will ever know on camera if you got a hole, if you got the little stuff in there. But yeah, I think just keep yourself well groomed as a guy. Even if your hair's gotten a little long, just line yourself up. You'll be all right. Y'all get away with so much more than we do. Just dress nice. And then for the women, here's another thing that I've been wanting to experiment with, but I haven't yet. And that's the pretty head wraps and stuff and scarves. Like you can't get your hair right. Throw on a head wrap, do a little scarf, something. I think those are neat because you can wear them inside and it's not like you stuck a hat on your head and looking odd. It's just like you got a pretty head wrap. Eyebrows, shape those up. lashes. You can go to my website, themakeupbullet.com. I'm the Makeup Bullet across social media. Follow the Makeup Bullet. If you have a question for me, go ahead and ask. Of course, you can pick up the Makeup Bullet there. I've got my cute little Eva Jane eyelash safe so that when you do pull off your little lashes, you have a place to keep them where they're not getting all crushed. And then my little brush. So if you need a tutorial, I told you I'll do it for 3 women if you hit me up, all right?
Brandon has a question about razor bumps. What do guys do about razor bumps? What can be done for razor bumps, Eva? What's your suggestion for that?
Oh, on TV, you know what? There's a couple of great products, and I actually just got my son some because the barber before a little while ago got him too close. So the Tend Skin is great. Tend, TEND, SKIN, twice a day, morning, evening. Tend Skin is an awesome product for razor bumps. And I think the secret too is just not to let them get too out of control to where you're going to have to, yeah, it can get ugly. So Tend Skin is a great one because it'll help with that irritation and so that they're not growing back into you. So yeah, that, and if you have super, super coarse hair, you really probably shouldn't be shaving that close because like when I take my ones, I have 2 sons. One has a totally different texture hair than the other. So one can't get skinned, as they say. You want it skinned? No, don't go that low because he's going to bump up. So when he does forget, the Tend Skin makes it so he doesn't. So yeah, that's great. Misty, all right, hit me up. The Makeup Bullet, just DM me or yeah.
Kim Powell says, is there such a thing as too much lip color on Zoom? What's your opinion about Zoom and wearing lipstick, I guess?
I don't think so. I would say if your lips are taking up 1/3 of the screen, that could be too much. So yeah, just make it so that you're a little farther back so that it's not so pout in your face, because everybody is magnified on this to where your face is going to be as big as my computer screen if you're that close to the camera. So yeah, yeah, Amani, the demo.
See all you can see all this now.
You're funny. And let's see, the tutorial to lip color. Yeah, because actually, I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's so funny. I have on this pink color that I thought was too much for me. A young lady gave it to me. It was from her lip line. And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm a little too old for this color. It's like a Pepto or bubblegum pink. And like right now, I'm looking at it now. Here's the thing. I don't know what your color looks like on your screen, but I'm real comfortable with it. Like on mine right now, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. I don't look like
it looks like it matches the Step and Repeat, actually. It's all in the it's in the brand.
Pink. Yes. Oh, thank you, Rhonda and Latasha. How did you deal with that? Let's see. Oh, wait. Okay, I see some questions. Too much lip color. Yep. Natural face hacks for women who can't wear foundation but want to look good on camera. Okay, Misty. I like that. Okay. Like I said, mascara is amazing because what you want to do is have people focus on those eyes. Now, I don't know if you can't wear powder. Like right now, I have on powder. I didn't do any foundations. I didn't do anything creamy. And if you want to talk to me, I did contouring using 3 colors. I shaped my face with 3 colors. I used a highlight color, which is a light color, maybe 2 to 3 shades lighter than me, like around my eye area, T-zone, all that. I did my darker color around here, and then I did my face color. So I have on 3 powders right now, just so I could shape it up to kind of fake it. So powders are great. If you don't want to use foundation, you still want a natural look, powders are great. Maybe you want a mineral powder, those natural. Let's see, and mascara and little lips and brows, of course. Thank you. And then what do we got? How do you deal with that? Looks nice. What is that, Brandon? That question? I'm not sure of that question, Amani.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's. in
I see one,
reference to.
one other question that says, have you ever been in business with a client who had oily skin? So what's your advice
Oh,
for oily skin, Eva?
me. Look, I live with oily skin. You know what? I'm not mad at oil though, because oil is almost kind of like a form of moisture and keeps you young. So, I'm not constantly trying to get rid of oil on my skin and trying to rob it of natural oils. And I mean, unless you're like, and actually kind of a shiny look or a shimmer look is in, so you actually might be able to get away with a little more
A little
oil
glow
than,
is okay these
than
days.
back in the day. But I don't fight the oil because I have extremely oily skin and I'm about to be 50 next year, and I think it's worked okay for me. So
Looking
I'm
all of
not,
35. You're looking all of 35, Miss Eva Jane.
yeah, so no, but it's not good for makeup. Okay. It's not good for makeup. The oil, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I
The
think so.
oil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, yes, the oil. So, oil, when you're on camera, maybe not so much. So, I mean, you're going to have to maintain, you're going to have to blot. A primer can be a good thing. There are primers that help to kind of keep that down. There's oh God, now I'm blanking, but maybe a primer. And before you don't do a moisturizer necessarily right before you do your makeup. You can do a toner, let that dry like a rose water, and then go ahead and put your primer on. And primers are made to prime the skin to receive, but I'm always really careful about not clogging up pores. So being able to balance that, and powder of course is going to tone down some of that excess oil when you're on camera. So yeah,
Awesome. Rhonda
toner.
says, thanks for the awesome tips on the toner. Thank you. Any other questions, folks? I
Missy.
think someone wanted to know what brands you suggested for I guess the tone for the oily products.
Yeah, you know what? There are so many. There's Model in a Bottle. You can get that. Like right now, I know a lot of stores aren't open, but I think that's like a drugstore brand, and it's made by Scandinavia. Scandinavia is like the high-end primer. They have both a primer and a setting spray. So that's the other thing that you can do. You can double do it. So you can use a primer underneath your makeup, and then after you put your makeup on, a setting spray. Now in the setting sprays, they have acrylic in them, which it sounds pretty harsh, but they have acrylic in them to where they kind of meld to your face. And my makeup moves. So yeah, if I'm wearing it, I'm going to have to touch up wherever I'm going. So sometimes if I really am concerned about that, like an event, I don't wear a setting spray on a daily basis. But if I'm going to a special event that's like really, really something, I might do a setting spray on me. Or when I'm like using my clients on set that maybe have to go on a new set or something like that, I might do a setting spray, unless they're like, I'm not going to be doing anything after this, I'm going to take it right off. So setting sprays and primers are great. Okay.
Awesome.
Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. There's one. Megan has one for y'all. And Milk you can probably order very easily online from their site. As a woman close to 50 with oily skin, primer and setting sprays are friends. I hear you. Deandra and Megan. Thank you. Yep, Sephora. Is Sephora open right now? You could probably order, of course, online.
Mhm.
But yeah, totally. Everything's online now.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this conversation with Eva Jane Bunkley. She is sharing jewels. Like she's talking, I don't know nothing about makeup, but she does. So I want to appreciate you for coming out. Eva, where can people find you once again if they want to follow up with you or ask you any questions to get there the right way?
Amani, I'm just honored. I had no clue this was your first. And when I heard that, I said, my God, what a blessing. You are awesome.
Well, you're awesome. Like I've
We
known
go
Eva
way
since,
back.
yeah, we go way back. And so I was thinking, who could I ask to do this? And I just thought about this Friday. No lie. I just thought about doing this Friday. And I think 40 people responded to it, which is amazing.
That's
So
awesome.
I want to thank all of you for coming out and hanging out with us on this first ever
Oh,
Video Secret Society. I don't know when I'm going to do the next one, but thank you so much, Eva, for being part of the first one. I do
yeah.
appreciate you.
So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, The Makeup Bullet. And my personal IG is I am Eva Jane. So you can find me. So hit me up, inbox me, DM me, whatever y'all call it, and we can organize something. And the makeupbullet.com, you know what? And what is it? Secret Society? I need to do a Secret Society. Is that what it's
I'm
called?
calling the Secret Video Society is what I'm calling mine.
Secret
So you can
Video
call yours the Secret
SV.
Makeup Society.
Okay, I'm gonna do SVS. I'm gonna do a 50% discount on my website off of the Makeup Bullet, this, and my brush. So a 50% discount is gonna be SVS at
Somebody
the
put that in the
Makeup
comments.
Bullet.
Somebody put that in the comments.
Yes, themakeupbullet.com. I have some other specials. I'm not gonna discount those, but I will discount those individual products. So I gotta get in. Give me a second to get in and put the discount SVS.
We'll do
That's
that right
what it's
after you
gonna
hop
be.
off, Eva, and then we'll make sure we get that in the chat for folks that
Yep.
want to order from you.
All right.
Appreciate you. Have a good night, Eva.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
All right, folks, we're just getting warmed up. I want to thank Eva Jane for spending some time with us. But of course, I want to follow up. So now that you know how to look and sound amazing, you might have questions about how do you actually frame a message? How do you speak on camera with confidence? So that's what we're going to get into now. So if you guys want to stick around for the video marketing portion of this call, please stick around. I'm going to share my screen with you now. So give me a second here. I got a new mouse because my Apple mouse was acting funny. So let me see here. All right, tell me if you can see my screen. We are done with Eva Jane. All right, so we're talking about video marketing and the two things that your videos must have. All right, so Eva already talked about how you can look good, right? But in addition to that, you need a couple. You only need a couple of other things. You need to have a message and a delivery, and you need to have some equipment and know how to use it. That's really the only two things. All right, so I'm going to get into all of this now, and so. First of all, I'm going to share some secrets with you. I'm going to share these stories to my students, people who I've worked with to help them overcome their camera shyness, because I know from personal experience, I could share I'm going to share a little bit more about my story in just a second, but I used to get really, really nervous and anxious. Like when I worked in the news business, I was a news reporter. And this is me back when I was on camera in Tampa, Florida in my early days. So I would get super nervous. My mind would go blank. And then I do this head nod thing where I break my neck and look at my nose and try to collect my thoughts and get my act back together. I would get nervous. I would choke. I would struggle. I would stumble. I would say, I was almost unintelligible at times. Like I try to rush through my words because I was so nervous that I was going to forget what I was going to say. And it really took a mentor who finally was like, look, Amani, what's going on with you? And, you know, he kind of gave me some tough love. And one day I was out reporting and he said, look, I think somebody gave you some bad advice. Instead of trying to be like this hardcore news reporter, you know, the raw news reporter, why don't you just be like this guy who's a little more cool? And once he said that to me, the light bulb kind of went off that I could just be myself. And so if you do struggle with nerves and anxiety, it's perfectly normal. Like I still get nervous. I'm probably have a level of nervousness right now sharing with you. But, you know, remember, your message is much more important than your personal fears. And you'll find that as you start making videos, that the nerves that you feel on the inside, people can't even tell on the outside that you're really nervous or that you're going through it. There have been times where I thought that, you know, you might forget what you're going to say and you pause for a second. You think it feels like a minute or two, and you go back and watch it, and it's only like a couple of seconds. So it's really not that big of a deal at all. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to May Rabano, who's known as the Strong Bikini Mom. And I cannot see your comments right now, but I'll make sure I go and get to any questions you guys have for me once we get to the end of this presentation. All right, so May is a fitness coach for mothers, actually. She helps moms get their bikini bodies back after they had a couple kids. She has a exercise and a method to do that, and she gets tremendous results from her students. And so when she reached out to me, I think she found me on Facebook. She was like, look, Amani, I get physically sick at the thought of public speaking, and I get so worked up. I procrastinate. I have severe anxiety, but I really know that for my business, I need to start sharing my story online and with video. And so I gave her some suggestions. Like we just talked, and she said she wanted to go live on Facebook. So I gave her some suggestions and some advice. And she ended up going, the first time she ever went live, she got a sale from her first ever live stream on Facebook. And she went on to complete my program, and she started doing YouTube videos and building her YouTube channel. And she says that it's easier to speak on camera because you're only speaking to a camera. So I don't know, like sometimes there are public speakers who are fine speaking from a stage and they get nervous on camera. Well, I'm an introvert. I think May's an introvert. She found that even though she's terrified to speak publicly, that speaking to a camera is a little bit easier. And the great thing about the method that I developed, the formula, is that whether you're introverted or extroverted, if you follow the process, you'll become very comfortable sharing your message. And it's worked with people all over the world. I've worked with clients in Germany, Panama, here in the United States, Canada, etc. All right, the secret number 2, even though we just had a full presentation on your looks, what Eva said was that sometimes she doesn't put any makeup on, right? She says sometimes she's looks regular. And so your looks don't matter as much as you think they do. It's really your message and the production value, which are more important, all right? So what do I mean by that? Well, Misty Harris is a great example. I think Misty might be on this call even. So Misty, I'm gonna put you out there. All right, so when I met Misty, her video pain was that she even said she had no video skills. She didn't know the first thing about making a video. She had tremendous self-doubt and fear. I took a screen capture of what she said on Facebook. We were chatting about it. She said, "I'm in. If you can fix my fears of being on camera, I will sing your praises." So her goals were to go live on Facebook, and she also wanted to learn simple production techniques to share her story. She's a parenting coach and an etiquette coach for kids. And so what she found after she started implementing what I taught her, hold on, folks. I'm going to go here and make sure no one's trying to get in the room as well, because there might be some folks. I'm going to pause for 1 second. I hate to do this, but there might be somebody trying to get in this room. Make sure no one's trying to get in. All right, there it is, Kim Powell. Sorry about that. Zoom doesn't do a good job of multitasking, so let me get back to it now. All right. So after she started implementing what I taught her, she started going live on Facebook twice a week. And it got to the point where she started getting attention from a commentator. She was contacted for a commentator position on a television show. And she says, they will contact me after all of the producers watch my videos. Miracles and miracles, I believe that this will happen. So that's really the magic, right? So you might think that, oh, you're this or that, or have a lot of self-doubt. Once you put yourself out there and start getting into a rhythm, that's when sort of the magic of the video universe can take over. And you never know who's going to see your message, see your video, who you could touch, who you could impact. And let me see if this, make sure I'm on the right. Here we go right here. All right. And so these are her results. So there she is in her home space, her home studio, which is what I say everybody needs, is to have a home studio. She says, I actually look forward to doing a live video. And she says that I have to say these methods and guidance made me such a better online presenter that I could have imagined. I actually enjoyed and looked forward to doing live video. He helped my business in so many ways because I refused to go on before taking his course because I didn't feel prepared or confident. So a lot of times it's just having that accountability, that direction to help you start moving in the right direction. Like Eva said, sometimes you have to hold yourself accountable, right? That's why she's doing a 90-day challenge. All right, so I have other success stories. This is Diane Moyes Mitchell. So talking about the equipment, right? That's her in her home space. See, she has a ring light. She has a microphone there. You really only need some basic equipment to get started. She says, I followed your advice and invested in equipment like lighting to brighten up my videos. And of course, sound, because it is so important. And so those are just the basics. Really, you need a light, a camera, and a message. And, you know, that's pretty much, and a microphone, right? So that's really all you need to do. And this is another one of my students who is Charlotte Squire. She's out in Germany. And when I talked to her, she would get so nervous. She was kind of like me. So as soon as she would start recording, her mind would go blank and she would forget what she was going to say, would get really confused. And you can see her smiling there. She says, I have to thank you again, Monty, having fun creating videos. And this is the thing. If you don't find a way to make video making fun, you probably aren't going to stick with it. And let me check to make sure. I just want to make sure there's no one else trying to get in the room. I'm sorry, folks. This is annoying. This is the new Zoom where they make sure you have to moderate everything because they don't want anybody to ambush the stream. So let me just check real quick to make sure no one's trying to get in here. All right, looks like we're good to go. All right, cool. Sorry about that. It's breaking up my flow. Let me move this down. Can I move this? All right, cool. All right, and this is the third secret, is that sometimes you have to invest in mentorship and support to get fast results. And that's, for me, that's what helped me tremendously, was having a mentor, was having a coach. True enough, he was my work colleague, but if it wasn't for Rod Finch, I mean, I talked to my news director years later, it was probably about 2 years ago, I was back in Tampa, and I said, was there any conversations about you guys pulling me from the air when I was really struggling? He was like, some people wanted to, but he was like, I didn't want that to happen necessarily because we knew you were just starting and kind of figuring things out. And so, you know, sometimes you need that mentorship and that support to get fast results. So, you know, I believe that everyone should have a mentor. Mentoring brings out two things: new ideas and accountability. There are new ideas in your head right now, right? Just from watching this presentation and from listening to Eva. There are things that you've learned and that wouldn't have been in your mind if you wouldn't have made time to tune in and watch right now. So I really appreciate you, and hopefully you appreciate this time and this information right now. A good mentor will give you great ideas and make sure you act on them. So that's the accountability piece. A great mentor will also put things together, and he'll put together a group of people. So kind of get that mastermind effect going. So remember, you know, if you're looking for additional mentorship or you want that accountability, you know, find a mentor. You could, of course, reach out to me. But let me ask you this. If you were going to plan a trip to the Cayman Islands, would you charter a plane and then decide to become the pilot if you had no experience piloting a plane? Well, of course not. So if you're looking to leverage video marketing, if you want to start sharing a message and you feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? If you just don't feel like yourself, or you get really anxious, nervous, if you get that pit in your stomach, or if you're having trouble getting yourself started or jump-starting your actions, then maybe you need a mentor. So for me, I spent more than 4 years struggling on camera. I spent, I'm lying to you not, $50,000 on training, on mentors. I've made dumb business moves. I bought a ton of stuff I didn't need. Asked my wife. I undersold my services for years, and I've left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. I've read books, and it took me a while to figure all this stuff out, even with the video marketing and the business stuff online. So basically at this point, you have two options. So one, you can take the information, I'm going to invite all of you back to the next time we do one of these lives, because obviously I feel like I can provide great value and that everybody's enjoyed this information. But if you really are serious about getting started, you can, of course, go at it alone, try to do it yourself. You might get frustrated. You might not, you know, that procrastination might kick in. What will probably happen is that after 3 or 4 failed attempts, you'll probably just give up and get frustrated while your competition goes out and figures out the video thing. And what could it mean these days? Well, no, videos could really be detrimental to your business, because if you've been on Facebook or Instagram now, I think you've seen that a lot of folks are taking advantage of this downtime to master new skills. And speaking on camera is just a skill. It really is. There's nothing really to it. It's not a big deal. But sometimes you do need that extra hand to guide you along the path. So 2, you can learn a proven system from someone who has not just done it, but who's actually a master of it. And I feel like I'm one of the best in the world at teaching this information. So here's how I can help you guys. My team and I have set some time in the next week to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. I've shown you very broad strokes, but everyone's business is going to be unique, and you need to learn how to apply these shifts to your business individually. So if that's what you want to do, I'm more than happy to get on the phone, listen to your challenges, your concerns, and see if my system will work for you. Now, there is no cost to the call. It's completely free. And I'm actually going to drop a link in the comments here if anyone wants to schedule one, because I have really limited spaces. So, and that's not a like fear of missing out statement at all. Like, I have very limited space. I work full time for Fox during the day and only have a few hours each evening to talk to folks. And so I think I already have 4 calls scheduled this week. So if you'd like to get on my calendar and if you're serious about it, I would say go ahead and schedule one. Now I'm going to drop that in the link in just 1 second. You might be wondering if this call is for you. So you have to be absolutely committed to investing your resources to learning and mastering these video techniques. It's going to take gear, it's going to take time, and you have to be teachable. You have to have a true concern and bring value to your clients. So I'm not looking to work with folks who have like a $20 MLM product that they're trying to sell. I'm looking for folks that care about their clients, you care about their well-being, and also folks that are fun to work with. So I'm not looking to talk to everyone, but if that's you, I would encourage you to sign up for a call. What's going to happen on this call? Well, I'm going to help you get clarity exactly about the steps that you need to make impactful videos in your authentic voice and the simple system that you should use to achieve your goals. So if you'd like for me to help you, and if you'd like to see if it's a good fit, if I feel like it's a good fit, I may invite you to become one of my partners or my new clients this month. And so I'm not going to belabor this because I know that some folks probably want to schedule a call. So let me stop the share. I'm going to drop the link in the comments now. All right, so go ahead and look at my schedule if you're interested. And I will take any questions that you may have at this time. So if you want to ask me any questions about the gear, the equipment, if you have any specific challenges of speaking on camera, just go ahead and put them in the chat as well, and I'll kind of answer them as they go in. Oh, Megan says Rod Finch is the bomb. So Megan, you know Rod Finch. So Rod Finch is the bomb because I owe a lot of my reporting success to Rod Finch. Is the mic, okay, is the mic only needed when you're not using live? For example, how to use a mic with your phone? Okay, so that is a great question. My phone is somewhere around here. And if you have an iPhone, hold on one second. All right. That is a great question because there is a little doodad that you can get for your phone. So this is a mobile mic. It's called the Rode Smart Lav. Can you guys see it? It's a Rode Smart Lav. It's just it's a microphone that's used for iPhone, so it has a little plug like that. And then you use it with your iPhone. If you're going to go live on your iPhone, let me scoot a little bit closer to the mic here. I call this an audio adapter. My wife calls it a dongle. So I don't know what it's officially called, but you need to get this little adapter for your iPhone. I don't think Android phones need to use this, but you just plug the microphone into the little dongle here, if I can do it. And then you plug it in your phone, and then you can double as a microphone. Now, I will say that the iPhone microphones are pretty, like the built-in microphones in the iPhones are pretty good. Like if you're not super far away, or if you're pretty close, it'll pick up your audio fine, like without a microphone. But I have one more hack for you. Use your earbuds. So your earbuds actually have a microphone built in them. So if you have a lot of background noise or some music, or you're in a crowded place or noisy place, just plug your earbuds in. And your earbuds have a little micro right here in this little section, if you can see it. And that's what I like. You might see my video sometimes where I have my earbud in my ear and I'm sort of have it plugged into my phone. I'm using my earbuds as a microphone. So that's another hack for you. All right. So great question. I appreciate that. When speaking on camera, there is lettering on my banner and pictures that are backwards to viewers. How do we fix that? Oh, so that's when you're using the selfie camera. And I've gotten asked this question so much lately. So what happens when you're going live with your selfie cam is it kind of does an inversion of what it sees, so it makes it backwards. And I've seen some hacks online. You might not need to Google search it because I have an iPhone 8 and I haven't updated my iOS in who knows how long because I'm not about that. But I think some of the recent phones, there's just a setting you need to go in your phone and change, and then it will allow your phone not to mirror, not to make your text and your lettering backwards in there. Do you have any type of XLR adapter that you can pair with a DSLR? That's Brandon's question. So I think, Brandon, you're like a news guy. So I'll show you what I use here. Excuse me for dropping off the frame. All right, so when I'm shooting with my 7D, I'll just get this XLR to 1/8 adapter. All right, so that's all you need to get is a XLR to 1/8 adapter. And then I just plug my XLR microphone into here and I plug this into my, either my Panasonic or my Canon, and that's how you get audio in. Your camera, of course, has to have a microphone in jack, but that's what I use to get my XLR into a DSLR. Bradley Vincent, if it's happening when you go live on Facebook, oh, it's a Facebook Live thing, you can fix it in your Facebook settings. All right, so that pertains to the inversion that might happen when you're going using your phone as a camera. So you can go to the Facebook Live settings and change that so it's regular, flip it back around. See any more questions that might come in? Doug Lehman says, what are you using? Oh, what are you using for multiple camera angles? A switcher. I've noticed you doing things. Good stuff. All right, so I'm not using it right now because the Zoom doesn't allow me, I don't have it set up where I can use it on Zoom. But sometimes when I go live on Facebook, if you're in my group, I have a Video Confidence Accelerator, which is a free Facebook group where I provide tips and tricks, and I go live all the time. So I have this setup where I can use my iPhone as a camera, I use my webcam, I use my DSLR, and I'm switching kind of like a news thing where I'm going back and forth. I'm on a Mac, and there's a program called Ecamm Live, which I can share a link to Ecamm Live, I think. But Ecamm Live is for Mac only, but it is an amazing software for going live. It really is. I'll drop a link in the comments actually right now for you for Ecamm Live. It is an affiliate link, but let me find, and go ahead and ask any of the questions as they come in. I'll go ahead and answer your questions, so find the link. Are you able to do virtual background in Facebook Live as in Zoom? I'm not sure about that. I know with Zoom, you can do a virtual background. And what he's referring to is, I don't like doing virtual backgrounds. I kind of mess around with them when I'm doing like work meetings, and we have like a happy hour we do on Fridays. Sometimes we play around with that. But you're able to kind of do like a green screen effect, so you can replace the background with anything else using Zoom. Ecamm allows me to do that. So you can do with third-party applications like Ecamm allow you to do that. I think that StreamYard, which is another third-party live application, it's a browser-based. So I'll drop this in the comments. I'll drop this in the comments too once I find the link to Ecamm. But yeah, Zoom will allow you to do that. StreamYard will allow you to do that in Ecamm. So if you use StreamYard, you can do green screen with StreamYard. So Rhonda says I use StreamYard. So you can use a green screen, but you have to have a green screen behind you and then replace the background. Paula says, thanks, Amani. I have to drop, but great info. I didn't see a link to your calendar, but we'll email you. Awesome. Please email me, hit me on Facebook, however you need to hit me up. It's all good. So any other questions, drop a link. Let me change the views here because let me see who's on here. So we've got a lot of folks in the room. So I appreciate all y'all. Kim Powell, Chris Ann, T.L. Woodward, Melissa Jane, DeAndrea, Sonia, Tanya, Melvin, Brandon, Letitia, Megan McCarthy, Donnie, Rita, D, Bradley, my homeboy Bradley Vincent, Misty Harris. What's up, Misty? Good to see you. Beatrice, Amani, I see myself there. I see you, Lakeisha, Jenny, and Doug Lehman. Doug Lehman and Lehman's. Oh, so Doug, why don't you talk about your background? Because you have a virtual background going right now, don't you? I'm going to unmute you and let you talk about that, all right? Doug, give me a nod. All right, cool. I'm going to unmute you, Doug. Talk about your background a little bit while we have you there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I've used Zoom, and then in Zoom, they allow you to you can create different types of pictures in your backdrop. And I've been experimenting with that because I don't want to make it too busy now. What I got going on right now is just like an animated cartoon thing of a street sign. I do a lot with cityscapes, but like you were saying, I don't want to make it too busy. But in Zoom, you just go in there and you take from the green screen, you just import a picture or a video for that matter.
Cool. Very good. And Doug Lehman, he's great. He's a beast on LinkedIn. So he's like a LinkedIn sales and marketing coach. He uses video tremendously. So thanks for that advice, Doug, and for your suggestions. Any other questions, folks, for me or for Rhonda says, this has been great, Amani. Lakeisha says, you can make it on Canva. Awesome. Any other comments or questions for me? We've been here for about an hour. So once again, please reach out to me if you'd like to schedule a call. And I think I owe you, I'm trying to grab these links here, folks. And I think I owe you some swagalicious links. So let me see if I can pull that from my, why isn't this scrolling right now? This is not cooperating. Hold on 1 second while I grab these links for you because I have a link for Ecamm and my affordable gear guide, which I promised you all. Hang with me 1 second, folks. Oh, there we go. Where are my links? That's what happens when you're not prepared with your links. You guys like, what's Amani talking about? There's Ecamm. All right, so I'll drop the link for Ecamm now. All right, here's the link for Ecamm. Thanks for bearing with me. So if anyone's on a Mac, I really suggest you look at Ecamm. I think that Bradley Vincent uses Ecamm as well. Yes, and Bradley Vincent just, that's the name of my Facebook group. So if anybody's interested in my Facebook group, please join it. You have to apply, leave your email, etc. But it's the Video Confidence Accelerator. I would love for all of you to join my Facebook group. And I appreciate y'all for being a part of the first ever Secret Video Society call. And let me see if I can find the other link for you to my guide here. All right, so this is actually you're gonna have to unzip this. So this is a compressed file. So if you're on, make sure you're on a PC. So copy this link if you're on your phone and email it to your PC. But this is a guide and also a video lesson on using eye contact when speaking on camera, all right? So I'm giving you 2 bonuses now. Did that go to the whole group or did it go private? I'm sorry, that did not go to the whole group. Hold on 1 second here. Everyone in meeting. Oh, this new Zoom is cracking me up. All right, so there's my link to the bonus. Make sure you're on your PC or on your Mac to download that. It's zipped, so it is compressed. And if you have any issues, hit me up and I'll give you a link to the direct file. And then I'll give you another link to Zoom just in case we missed that as well. All right, here's a link to Ecamm rather. Any other questions for me, folks? All right, well, I want to thank you all for joining me in the first ever Secret Video Society. I'll probably be emailing you to ask you how you enjoyed the call. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but it'll hopefully be in the upcoming week. And I will do another one of these soon. I'd love to know what would be most helpful for you. Megan, oh, Megan says, are there some decent Bluetooth mics, but anything wireless for your phone, but anything wireless is one for problems go wired even. Okay. So yeah, so Bradley's talking to Megan. I'm sorry. He's responding to Megan. I'm trying to, that's the conversation. All right, so Megan, there are some Bluetooth wireless microphones for your phone, but it's better to go wired is what Bradley's saying. All right. So I would say just search on Amazon. What I will say about the gear right now, folks, is some of the gear in my gear guide, it's hard to find because so many people are going live right now. They're doing their meetings. The Blue Snowball's okay, but even a better mic is the Blue Yeti, which is a little bit more expensive, but the Blue Yeti is kind of a better microphone. Or I like the Audio Technica mics as well. All right, in terms of those are USB mics, so those are not iPhone mics. Those are computer mics. They connect via USB. So all right, so that is. All right, what you got there, Doug? You need to unmute you. Let me unmute you there. All right, you're good.
This is an Audio Technica as well, but it's a shotgun regular microphone, which I'm kind of using right now. I got a couple of them, but I love the Audio Technica. What is it? The USB ones, and the one with the XLR connections as well. But the Rhodes are nice too. Really, anything, you know.
Yeah, any mic's better than no mic, right?
You know how I was doing back in the day without a mic. So
I do. I remember. All right, so cool, folks. So we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. I'd love to get some feedback, so maybe tag me on a Facebook post, or tag me in my group, my Video Confidence Accelerator, with a comment on what you thought about this particular class, and we'll do it again real soon. All right, thank you so much. Good night.